What's good, folks? My name is Vin, and this is a Venn diagram, a channel dedicated to the intersection of my life experiences. So this video is about nonviolent communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg. Nonviolent communication is a four-pronged approach: observation, feelings, needs, and requests. It's really simple. But in general, our communication as a society tends to be us versus you or me versus you. It is not inherently an us in this situation. And that's what this book is all about. Before I get into it, would you be willing to hit the subscribe button? I'm gonna wait for you to do that. Thank you. I'm just gonna keep going. We are dangerous when we are not conscious of our responsibility for how we behave, think, or feel. All you really need to remember, whatever we think, how we act, react, and feel is our responsibility. If and when someone harms us, it is our responsibility to deal with whatever it is that happened. And I say if and when because that is life. You are going to be harmed and hurt. That is a natural part of life. The book encourages to give from the heart. And I want you to consider this next question. What happens to people that disconnects them from their compassionate nature to behave violently and exploitatively? We always have to clarify what is being observed, felt, and needed. We do not need to diagnose and judge people. And this last one is a really hard one for everybody because of comparisons being so prevalent in society. Concept one is observation. You have to observe without evaluation. I'm gonna say that again. Observe without evaluation. You might not realize how often you observe with evaluation. Wow, that person is really slow. He is not a very good speaker. She is terrible at socializing. An evaluation is anything that blames, insults, puts down, labels, criticizes, compares, or diagnoses. When you observe and evaluate, you really are decreasing the efficacy of any message. The message instead becomes criticism, and unsurprisingly, it is met with resistance. Observations of everything I just mentioned could instead become, that person is running at a 12-minute pace. That's me. I run at a 13 minute pace right now. When speaking, he should try to be more direct, enunciate his words, and speak with more volume. Perhaps she doesn't know anyone and is nervous. Let's see if I can make her more comfortable in this space. Next concept is feelings. You all know feelings. Some of you avoid them. I know you. This is for you. We are generally trained to be other-directed rather than in contact with ourselves. Let me explain. This is a difference between noticing how different someone is and othering them rather than knowing where our own biases lie when we make judgments and evaluations. That person might be slower than running of you. Wow, words. That person is slow at running because they might have started running way later in life than you, or they have injuries. Maybe they didn't have the training that you have to speak in public and the social skills taught to not be awkward. What others do may be the stimulus of our feelings, but not the cause. And one of my favorite learnings from this year has been that feelings are not facts. They are an interpretation of the facts. And I like to categorize that your feelings are always lying to you. But it's not a bad thing. It's just how we are as humans. What is important is that we distinguish our feelings from our needs. On to the next. Needs. Analyses of others are usually expressions of our own needs. Our needs reflect our beliefs of how life can best be served. What needs of ours are connected to the feelings we are experiencing? Is there a need, desire, expectation, hope, or value not being fulfilled right now? And this all tends to come out in our feelings and often poorly. Are you needing more quality time with your partner? Are you needing space from your thoughts? Are you needing support from a supervisor? When someone communicates negatively, we have four options. Blame ourselves, blame others, sense our own feelings and needs, and sense the feelings and needs in the other person's negative message. What is it that you are needing? And what is the request to meet these needs? Requests. A request is what we are wanting from another person that would enrich our lives or make life more wonderful for us. How do we express our requests so that others are more willing to respond compassionately to our needs? What do I not want to do? I don't want to be defensive. I don't want to be judgmental. Can you tell me what I could do to make it easier for you to express yourself around me? Certain actions being attributed to punishment or rewards is life alienating communication. You can think of ultimatums as demands versus a request as an invitation to find a middle ground. If you don't do this, I will not be your friend. If you can talk about what happened, we can talk about how to improve our relationship. See the difference? Demands are also evident when the speaker criticizes or judges if the request is not followed through with. I knew you wouldn't do it. How do you expect me to ever trust you again? Hope that made sense. This is an empathy sidebar, but really this whole video has been an empathy sidebar, obviously. We have to receive communication empathically. And the key to that is being present in what the other person is experiencing and what are our theories or perceptions of what they are experiencing. You have to remember that behind intimidating messages are people just trying to get their needs met. The book even says that people who seem like monsters are human beings whose language and behavior keep us from seeing their humanness. This is a hard one for me, but don't interpret no's as personal attacks. A no is someone trying to tell you what they think they need or what they actually need. It has nothing to do with you personally most of the time. With every choice that you make, be conscious of what need it serves. Something amazing from this book: stimulus and cause are separate. We are not angry because of what others say or do. It is because our needs are not being met based on what they say or do. Think of the word racism. And this part is still something I'm kind of trying to figure out and wrap my head around. But racism is the judgment of someone based on how they treat other people. And I know it has a lot of historical context that I'm not fully encapsulating here, but the need behind racism is this. There's a need for someone to feel included, receive equality, and respect and connection. It is impossible to treat every person that comes at you with negativity, with kindness. But it's an interesting framework. Being brown, short, Filipino, and dressing the way that I do confuses a lot of people. And I recognize that I don't fit their need. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to emphasize need. I don't fit their need for what they consider the norm in society. I get a lot of stares, a lot of queries about my age, and I've unfortunately had someone tell me that I shouldn't be in the bathroom that I was in. In those moments, and future ones especially, because I doubt these things will stop happening to me, I have to remember that they don't know the world that I live in. There's a lack of understanding for someone that looks at me, and the only way to address that is by expressing how different I am to them. It is not my job to educate them every time that something like this happens, but it can be my role to forgive them in my own headspace, or even welcome them, as opposed to creating another division between us by fighting with them. I recognize that we are all a work in progress. Last quote from this book: analyses that imply wrongness equals a tragic expression of unmet needs. If you can translate any message into an expression of need, you can communicate with anybody. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe and comment below on something that you learned today, and I'll see you in the next video.